What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Arsenal news show. Of course, the show that keeps there with the latest Arsenal transfer news and rumours every single day. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you are new. We are on the road very close to 11,000 subscribers. And also get your thoughts in down below. Smash up the like buttons, be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I think myself, you guys, Arsenal fans are all the same. Still absolutely gutted, from the other night getting knocked out by PSG. I just want the season to end, to be honest with you. We've still got 3 games left, unfortunately. Um, and the only thing we can really look forward to is the transfers, really, and is the summer window. Of course, with Andre Berta, really looking forward to see what he can do. He's really my only hope with this team left, if I'm being honest with you. I've said my thoughts on the manager already. Um, Go and watch my video I did the other day on that one. But my only real hope that we have a chance of doing something next season is with Berta coming in and getting the signings in. But let's talk about it today because we've got David Ornstein update. He's actually gave us a big update on some new news about transfers, and we're going to start with some. I say positive news. I think it's positive news, but it's still not 100% guaranteed just of yet. But it's on William Saliba because Ornstein's came out and said Arsenal have open talks with William Saliba on a new contract, with Andrea Berta holding discussions with the players' camp. The club has yet to make an offer, but that will come in due course as they progress discussion, and pursue an agreement. So, yeah, we've open talks already to get Saliba down as a new contract, get him signed as a new contract. But we know there's still big interest there with Real Madrid. That is obviously that's been obvious. Like that's been there for a few years now. They'll look to sign Saliba. If he becomes available, then they'll look to sign him. Now we have it all. It's really all in our hands, I'll say, because we have the opportunity now to sit down with Saliba. Obviously, Bert's going to be that guy. It seems like to sort of, and I'm sure Arteta is as well, to sort of persuade him to stay. Really, at the end of the day, this player wants trophies, mate. It's as simple as that. He's clearly wants trophies, and we got to now prove to him that we're going in the right direction and that we are on the way to success. I think the reason why he hasn't left, the reason why he stayed with Arsenal is because he's seen Arsenal, when he first came in, getting that title race in the first season and then continue to push on from that. The only thing missing for us was the trophies, really. And that's been obvious. Like, and it's, many reports come out and say this, that Saliba is going to want to win trophies. And it's not stupid. It's not, it's not stupid to think this. It's not stupid for him to think this as well. Of course, that's the aim for Arsenal is to win trophies at the end of the day. And this is what Saliba wants. And if we're going year in, year out, once again, like this season, for example, winning nothing, then yeah, he will move on because I'm saying this because I've seen this happen and we've all seen it happen, guys. Not lie to ourselves. As much as we don't want to have these conversations, we have to have these conversations, yeah? We've seen players leave Arsenal because they wanted more and we wasn't delivering what they wanted, basically. And they went on to half of them gone to win big things anyway. And it really frustrates us a lot. When you think about the likes of Van Persie, the Van Persies who moved on, goes to Man United, wins the Premier League with them. These types of players, these are key players, yeah. But we wasn't getting under Wenger, especially. We was getting at a stage where we were competing, but Wenger's only getting a few FA Cups here and there, and that wasn't really enough for these players. Hence why they end up moving on and winning other things elsewhere. And I fear this could happen the same with Saliba, where he's been low with Arsenal because he's came in, he knows how important a player he is. I think we can tell that. And he's been obviously he's the key to Gabriel as well. I think don't get to us. I think Gabriel has been the better defender this season personally. What I've seen Saliba in the recent games, he's looked maybe a bit too is that even a word? Like a bit too composed at times. And yeah, that's kind of cost him a little bit if you watch him in the recent games. I kind of feel like, and if you base it off the whole season, I know Gabriel's injured, but I kind of feel like Gabriel's been the better defender. But it's not saying Saliba's had a bad season by any means, by the way. But those two, it'd be when you split them up. I mean, we've seen it. Kivior's actually done a really good job, I think, when he's came in. But when you have two centre backs together, like as a pairing, like Gabriel and Saliba. I'm looking across Europe, right, and there's other than maybe Konate, Van Dijk, who comes close to Saliba and Gabriel as a pairing in Europe, other than maybe Van Dijk and Konate. You can have that conversation there. Fair enough. I hear that one. But I'm thinking, I'm going to different teams, right? I'm looking at all the big elite teams, right? Who comes close to both of us as a pairing, Gabriel and Saliba? There's not a centre back pairing better for me out there. And I know I just mentioned Van Dijk and Konate, but anyone, this is how good they are. This is how solid they are as a pairing. And if we lose a Saliba, the replacement out there in the summer is going to be, there's not that many centre backs on his level. Not that many centre backs on his level. But I don't think that this in terms that he's going, because I do see him staying for one more season. And it's down to Arsenal, it's down to Berta to convince this guy, that he to persuade him that we're going to go in the right direction and we're going to win trophies. And that is where hopefully he will sign a new contract. But even if he doesn't, it's going to be. I mean, I'm just thinking about the worst. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I do think he stays Saliba for at least one more season. If I'm being honest with you, I think if we get to the next season we've won nothing, then he will leave 100%. There's no way he's staying after next season. But I just think we're okay for this, this summer. But he obviously knows that Real Madrid are interested. Obviously, everyone knows Real Madrid. Like they are there. They are waiting for the perfect opportunity to, when he becomes available, to then offer to see what they can do to try and bring him in. They value him up here, as one of their main priorities. So Real Madrid are there, and they're always going to be there. So we're going to have to, obviously the ball's in our court. It's all down to Arsenal. So we got to just play it right at the moment. But yeah, that's the latest on Saliba. Good news, I'd say, because we're opening talks already. But it seems to know what he's doing. He means business. So let's hope, we get the best outcome there as well. Ornstein also spoke about a few Arsenal sort of winner situation. As we know, we're looking to bring in a new winner, as well as the main priority is a striker. But he came and said Arsenal's interest in Nico Williams is well documented, as we know. But we also like Anthony Gordon. What about this one, guys? Anthony Gordon, of course, or Anthony Gordon, sorry, from obviously Newcastle, on the left-hand side predominantly as well. Yeah, we also like Anthony Gordon, and I remember we linked with him actually a few months ago as well. I think no information on Rodrigo rumors at the moment, so he sort of deaded those at the moment. But the thing with Rodrigo, we weren't really even linked with him, to be honest. It's more the fact that he's leaving Real Madrid, or he's possibly going to be leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season for 100 million. So that's why we're saying, can we go for someone like Rodrigo then? But anyway, yeah, there'll be other options as well, in terms of the winners. But he also goes on to say, do not expect a quick fix for the winning position, with the striker being our priority. So it's good that he said that. That's what we know. Is the striker's the main priority? That will be first. Actually, I presume Zubimendi will be coming in, as we know. And then it will be the main striker priority. And then towards the end will be the winner situation. I like Anthony Gordon, man. I really do. I think Gordon's a top player. I remember when even he was at Everton before, and I rated him there. I was like, this guy's a tidy player. And at Newcastle, he's been very, very, one of their key players. I think it's more, I know the spot I'll be on Isaac, but Gordon for me is very, I want to say underrated. I think he's fairly rated, but he is a top player for me. And he would, talk about player Anthony Gordon, I'm taking him in a heartbeat ends of the day. There's no, no, it's a Premier League now. I think it's a very good option to go with. But I'm going to be honest with it. Right now, why would he leave Newcastle right now? It's the same situation with Alexander Isak. And you talk about Gordon. I think they signed him for about, was it 40 million from Everton? In that was it January they signed him? Signed that along those lines. The price for Anthony Gordon is going to be skyrocketed. Number one. Number two, it's the same situation with Isak. Right now, when he's playing some good football over there, he's just won the League Cup with them. He's going to get Champions League football in Newcastle. Why would he want to leave right now? It just, I don't see him leaving right now. I really don't. But if you're talking about him coming in as a player, Alan Gordon for me, very, very good player. And yeah, I'm big fan of this guy, and I would take him in a heartbeat. But I just don't see it happening. Obviously, he mentioned about Nico Williams once again. I mean, this seems to be Arteta's guy. This is one who Arteta is really pushing for. He's been trying to get him for a while now. And I keep saying the same thing with Nico Williams. He's really had an underwhelming season this season. It does sort of concern me a little bit that, he's been playing what I've seen of him as well. Because I really wanted to focus in a few Europa League games this season watching Bilbao. And I watched this guy and I just feel at times, he's so inconsistent this season in terms of his performances. Like, he can do good things in games, but then he doesn't do it. How do I say it? He screams of a player like Martinelli in his worst, if that makes sense. This season, Nico Williams. When I'm watching Nico Williams, I'm thinking, you're no different to Martinelli. And Martinelli's had a few good games here and there this season. Don't get twisted, but we know that he's dropped off massively. But I look at Nico Williams and he just does very similar things to Martinelli in the sense that he's becoming too predictable, I feel like, when I'm watching this guy. He's becoming too predictable. And his decision making is not there. And that's what really concerned me when I'm watching Nico Williams. And again, I know it's only Europa League games, so I can't really go off that. And, in a different team, playing under Arteta, with this set of players, I don't know. Maybe he can get the best out of them. I don't know. Yeah, you like to hope so because he's trying to be getting him for years, right? But I just look at Nico Williams, I just think, compared to what we saw in not necessarily the Euros, because the Euros he was superb, but even the season before the Euros, even when he's at Bilbao before the Euros, he looked a 10 times better player before the Euros. Now, after the Euros, he's kind of just digressed a little bit, in my opinion. That's what I've seen of him. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I watch Bilbao week in, week out, because I don't. But that's what I've seen of Nico Williams personally. But yeah, also said about Rodrigo, as you said a minute ago, 100 million, they're going to put a price tag on for him. It depends about the new manager for Real Madrid, I think. It's most likely going to be Xabi Alonso. Alonso may like Rodrigo and have him in his plans. I don't know. But if he's not, he'll be on the table. Whether or not we'll go for him remains to be seen. I don't see I don't see Arsenal going for him because I just think our main priority is more. I don't see us splashing that much money, on Rodrigo, when the main priority is going to be a striker anyway, and we're going to spend a lot of money on the striker. But if he's there, then of course I'm not going to say no to Rodrigo. But what about of course the other winners he mentioned? I mean, I saw today about Semenyo from Bournemouth, a player that I really do like as well. He's had a fantastic season with Bournemouth. Um, both footed, cause some real problems, can play left and right. Rapid, really top class winner, and he's proved himself in the Premier League. I love to look at someone like Semenyo. I know we've been linked heavily. I spoke about him in the last few days about Jamie Gittins as well from Dortmund. Similar story with Semenyo, 20 years of age, younger. A bit more raw, I'll say though, as a player. Still got a lot to prove, I'd say, on the big stage. But it's both footed, looks really good as well. Can play left and right. Technically really gifted. So yeah, it'd be interesting. It's good that we got quite a lot of names targeted for the winner position, because I think that is another priority that we've got to bring in. We know Trossard may move on. We know there's been a sort of not what's the word, like a situation with Saka. We've always needed like a backup or competition at least for Saka on his side. So yeah, I think that we're most likely signing a winner who could play both left and right. One to give Saka a bit of competition, and then also compare on the left as well. Because I think that's what we're going to need for Martinelli as well as benefit. So, yeah, that's all the news today, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone, and as always, come on.